Appraisal 3, Chapter 2. This chapter will discuss the cost and income approach as to appraising real property. At the end of the discussion, we will review situations where one approach would be preferred over another. Cost approach. As the name implies, the cost approach bases the appraised value on how much it would cost to replace the home by rebuilding it. The cost approach is another way to apply the principle of substitution. With the sales comparison approach, the principle of substitution was applied by determining how much it would cost to purchase a similar property. With the cost approach, the principle of substitution is used to determine how much it would cost to reconstruct the property. The value of the land. The value of the land will most likely be established using the sales comparison approach. In other words, the appraiser will find similar parcels of vacant land which have sold in order to establish the value. Current cost. While it may seem like a simple calculation, the cost used in the cost approach may be figured in several different ways. The first method of calculating value is to calculate the reproduction cost. The reproduction cost is the cost to rebuild the structure exactly as it stands. Let's use an older historic home as an example. Reproduction costs would be the cost to build an exact replica of the home. The doors would be the same height. The moldings would be identical. The fixtures would match perfectly. The home would be identical in every detail. You can probably imagine how expensive it could be to reproduce a historic home exactly. The door sizes are most likely different from current standard door sizes. Therefore, all the doors would need to be custom built rather than using manufactured doors. You probably will not be able to find the same moldings at your local hardware store. The moldings would need to be custom made as well. Throughout the home, reproduction costs account for using an exact replica rather than the current standard. The other method of calculating construction costs is using replacement cost. This method assumes that the property will be reconstructed using current building methods and standards. Let's revisit our historic home. Assume the historic home is 2 stories with 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. If the cost to construct was based on replacement cost, a similar home would be built but using modern architecture, floor plans, and building materials. You can imagine how much cheaper this method would be in this circumstance. Standard doors used in everyday construction could be used. The molding would come from the local hardware store. The home would simply be built as any other home would be built according to current standards. Actually estimating the cost of construction can be done in several different ways. We'll review the following methods of calculating the cost of construction. Square foot method, unit in place method, quantity survey method, index method. Square foot method. The square foot method is probably the simplest and most common method used to estimate the cost to construct a property. The appraiser first determines the market rate for new construction on a cost per square foot basis. The appraiser will usually use the current cost by square foot charged by builders in the market for new construction. The cost per square foot is then multiplied by the size of the property to be constructed to equal the estimate of the cost to construct the property. Assume the market rate for new construction is $90 per square foot. The subject property is 2,500 square feet. The calculation for the cost to construct is as follows. 2,500 times $90 equals $225,000. $225,000 will be used as the cost to construct. Unit in place method. The unit in place method breaks down the construction project a bit further than the square foot method. This method breaks the property down into areas such as foundation, flooring, framing, etc. A cost per square foot is then applied. This total is added to items such as fixtures to which a cost per square foot is not easily calculated. Let's review an example. The subject property is 1,200 square feet. The appraiser estimates the foundation at $200 per square foot, flooring at $5 per square foot, and framing at $300 per square foot. The electrical fixtures will cost $1,200. Quantity survey method. The quantity survey method is more detailed than the unit in place method. The quantity survey method breaks the property down into individual components. The process is similar to what a builder might use to bid a new construction project. Every item in the home is priced out individually. In addition to the cost of each individual item in the home, builder's overhead, carrying cost, and builder profit are added to the total. Index method. The index method takes the original cost of construction and multiplies it by a factor representing the appreciation and construction cost since the property was built. As you might imagine, this method is often not extremely accurate. Depreciation. Depreciation refers to any decrease in value of the real estate for any reason. Only the improvements on real estate depreciate. The actual land does not depreciate because the land is considered to never lose its value. Depreciation must be considered when estimating the value of a property based on cost.